Thank you for the introduction, and it's true, you have to settle with me for the next 18 or about minutes, and yes, I'm standing between you and lunch, so sorry for that. Since I'm quite unprepared, I had to choose what to present to you, and I'm still in doubt, so what I'm going to do is let you choose between two topics. The first one will be about Burning Man and my experience at the Burning Man Festival. The second one is about Kama Sutra for business and success. Can I see the hands for the Burning Man? And the hands for Kama Sutra for business and success? It's Kama Sutra. I was afraid for that. Okay. Why? Why? Okay, Kama Sutra. The Kama Sutra helped people in the past. And what I want to try to do is to see how it can help us now, and not just about love and relationships, but also about being successful in business and in entrepreneurship. Because this is very important for me, and I think for all of you, is how to discover or rediscover the pleasure of doing business and be entrepreneurial and to innovate in things. To tell you a little bit more about the Kama Sutra is that it's about the 4th century. The book was made and was a guide for unwed people, because in that time you have to know that the marriages were arranged. So love was not taken for granted, it was something you had to build on, and you need some tips and tricks how to do that. And of course, in those places, there was not just one wife, but 2 wives and 3 and 4. Good days. But I think what I try to do is, I'm writing a book about this. It's still quite the first pages of the book, of course, but I thought it was a great topic to bring today and to see how we can use the metaphor of the Kama Sutra and translate it to the business. You must know that I've read the Kama Sutra not only once, twice, 3 times, of course. It's about 40 chapters long, divided in 7 parts, so it's quite long. But I have a question for you first. Who thinks that his relationship, sex life can be improved? Who thinks that? Okay, let's make it a little bit easier, less awkward. A different question. Who thinks that innovation and creativity can improve your life and business? There's more hands. That's less awkward, isn't it? So let's talk about that part. For those of you, I'm not going to take this picture too long, just for the photographer. This is not the Kama Sutra. These are the pictures you know about the Kama Sutra, of course, and the various pleasures that you can find in the Kama Sutra. But it's really almost a scientific guide. And like I said, there's a lot of chapters, and the text is small, it's not that important. But it has an introduction about love in general. It has everything to do with the love techniques that should be used to stimulate desire, and the types of embraces, caressing, kissing, and so forth. It's about relationships. From the very start, courting the girl, getting to know her, managing alone, you know what that means, and union by marriage, of course. The 4th chapter is about the duties that you have to your wife, and the privileges that they have. The 5th chapter is about the other wives, and about seduction and managing, of course, all those relationships, which can be a hassle. And the 6th one is about courtesans, because that's a different part. You didn't only have civil wives, but you could have courtesans as well. And the 7th chapter is about improving physical attractions, arousing a weakened sexual power. So that's what I tried to translate to different parts of the Kama Sutra for success in business as well, and to see how this can relate to entrepreneurship and how the techniques, life techniques and sex techniques can relate to innovation or creativity models, and see how this could lead to a better business. But of course, this presentation, or the presentation time is too short to go all the chapters, of course. So I have to see what we can talk about today. And there were several problems in the presentation as well. There were no movies and so on. But it is very important to, from time to time, to have another approach when you look at things. And that's the same thing in relationships. Otherwise, you could just get stuck in doing the same things you do all the time, getting the same results, of course, that you always had. And there are two companies or great examples of looking at different places and being seduced by others to see how their business model can evolve. Of course, Apple, who had nothing to do with the music industry and started out with an iPod that's really changed not just the company, but the whole industry. Something that Philips, who made the first MP3 player, just couldn't manage because it just focused it inside and got stuck and did not make love with courtesans or whatever. The other one is like the example of Philips. What they did do well is seek, for example, a partnership with Doha Express, which led to tens of millions of sales of the Senseo. Two companies who had nothing to do with each other could find each other and build a very nice relationship for that. But if we can talk about some things that is quite important in entrepreneurship, in building success in companies, these 7 key factors. It's all about dreams, it's all about vision, it's all about passion, which is the best word in this presentation and in the Kama Sutra as well, but also about taking risks, being agile, but absorption at the same time, and have diversity in your company as well. About dreams and vision, this is a nice example of Bertrand Piccard, who had the dream to fly around the world, a plane, just based on solar energy. And he had the first successful flight last year. And everybody said, well, it is impossible to do that. And he just made it possible because it was his dream, his vision to do that. And even though will not be possible just alone by solar energy, it will inspire others in the industry to do something different than this. So dreams and vision. This is a nice example of Adidas, which says impossible is nothing, where there's a fight between the daughter, Leila, and Ali, of course, which is not possible as well, but we see it in the movie. Can we have sound as well? Is that possible? And he's pointing. Yes.
It's an opinion.
They said it couldn't happen, but here we are.
Like when they said it'd be impossible to beat Sonny Liston. He's too powerful, too experienced. Or when they said don't take the fight in Zaire. He's too young, too strong. He's gonna destroy Ali. So when my father looks impossible in the eye and defeats it, again and again, what do you think I'm gonna do when they say women shouldn't box? Yeah, that's right. Rumble, young girl, rumble.
This shouldn't be the slogan for Adidas alone. Impossible is nothing. It should be the slogan for every endeavor that you play in life. Passion, which drives every relationship in life or business. And I find this example very, very good. The domino. This just started out with a student with an idea and a passion that he wanted to do. And it led to 5 million pieces set on the ground and just get started. And there were more than 70 volunteers just working on it and had just one passion and to make it work. Every stone is important, every person is important, but they all have the same passion to have those 15 million or 5 million stones thrown to the ground or set in motion. Taking risks. Well, these guys, it's on a building in New York in 1932, just eating lunch at, I think it was 50 meters high above the ground. And it was no risk for them, because they just got used to it. And the first time they went up, that would maybe been a risk. But afterwards, it's just the new normal. And that's what it's about. You have to see where the edge is, see where the borders are, and go to the borders and cross even the borders. And then risks doesn't seem like risks anymore. And if you go back to the boxing world, this is a great example of the fight between Ali and George Foreman. This was a fight for the world championship, and Ali was, or the entourage of Ali was quite afraid for Foreman, and they even got a plane ready for after the fight to fly Ali from Zaire to Zurich to go to a neurosurgical clinic. That's how afraid he was for the fight, because he knew that he might be agile and quite speedy in the fight, but George Foreman was a master of absorption, and he had iron fists, and he knew he could not win the fight. So what he did was quite innovative, is that the first time they used the ropes. That's what they called the rope-a-dope technique. And he knew that he could only win the fight if he could absorb the punches of Foreman through the 8-9 rounds that the fight was long. So they used the ropes just to get back in the ropes with every punch, and used the power back for every punch that he made to Foreman. And that's how he, in the 8th round, had won the fight. Not just by agility, which is quite important, what all startups have. They're more agile than the big companies. But if you can't take the punches along the road, you won't survive. And that's, for example, the advantage of Apple as well. It's the absorption with the brand that they made. So many people really love Apple, and they can do something wrong, but it's forgiven by the public because of their fans. And of course, they have lots of cash. If they need to innovate strongly, they have the cash to do it. And some other companies do not have that. So agility and absorption is a strong and the killer combination that you can have. And the last one is diversity. It's not just about diversity like Benetton says, have different people and different colors and different backgrounds in the society, but also in the company as well. We have heard Arnold speaking at Streetwise about Streetwise as well. I think it's important to find out how, for example, a homeless person will look at your company. How would he see your product portfolio? Or how would a musician think about your presentation? We need diversity in every layer that we have, and we need to have the courtesans and the different wives surrounding our companies, and to see what is possible, just not with the one person that you love in life. So diversity is a quite important one as well. Dreams, vision, passion, risks, agility, and absorption, and of course diversity. But that's a quite quick summary of what the Kama Sutra of at least one chapter would be about. I'll end with this quote for you. Thank you.